This is Healthy Cooking with Jules, and today I am going to be cooking with a kabocha squash. The holidays are coming, and one of my favorites is pumpkin pie, and I have a healthy version using the kabocha squash. So, first what we're going to do is we are going to cut it in half. Or as close to half as possible. And then what I like to do is, I love picking these spoons up at Halloween. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this and just scrape out the seeds. And we're going to put those in the trash. So once you get all the seeds scraped out, it's going to look like this. Oh, couple of stragglers. And that's not going to hurt you if there's a couple of seeds left. Then I like to cut it for roasting. So cut it in half a couple of times. So you have some pieces like this. I like to use a cookie sheet and I put foil on it. It makes it easier when you clean it. And I'm going to spray the cookie sheet. So once you get your squash all sliced and de-seeded, I like to put it on a foil-lined baking sheet and I spray the foil. So we're going to bake the squash for 30 minutes. When 30 minutes is up, get your kabocha out of the oven. And this is what it's going to look like. What we're going to do, I can't see. Now I can. So what we're going to do, you can use a pair of tongs or a spatula. What we're going to do is just flip it over to the other side. Get it all flipped. And then we're going to spray it with a little bit of cooking spray. And then we're going to pop it back in the oven. All right. The kabocha squash actually cooled overnight because I had other things happening. So now what you get to do is I like to take it and you can use a knife. This is soft enough you can use a spoon and just remove it from the peel. You can actually eat kabocha squash peeling. However, just to make your pie smoother and one color, I like to remove the peeling. So we're going to remove it from all the kabocha squash until we have 2 cups. So as you are getting your kabocha squash ready, I just want to let you know I love kabocha squash. It has lower carbs than, let's say, your butternut squash. So it's a really great alternative if you are watching your carb and your calorie intake. And it actually, when you roast it, it has a great texture. I like to use it instead of potatoes. You can actually use kabocha squash and like saute those up with your potatoes and eggs. And again, it's a lower carb. So what we're going to do is put everything in a blender. So we are going to add our 2 cups of kabocha into the blender. And then 1/4 cup almond milk or cashew milk. I like to use the unsweetened 30-calorie almond milk or the unsweetened 25-calorie. And I like vanilla flavored personally. So you're going to put that in. It calls for stevia. I don't have a packet of stevia, so I'm going to just put some Splenda in. We're going to add 2 egg whites, so I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons. We're going to use 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I like the one from Trader Joe's. And then 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Then what I like to do, because I have tended to like things a little bit sweeter, this is my own, I like to use 2 tablespoons of Torani sugar-free pumpkin. And then to get the nice fall flavors of brown sugar, Torani's has a brown sugar cinnamon that I like to use. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of that. Add that. So we're going to blend until smooth. I just like to pulse it a few times. So this is what your pumpkin pie looks like. And I am going to put it in my Thankful pumpkin pie plate. I'm going to just spray so it doesn't stick. And then we get to pour it in here. You're going to be preheating your oven to 425 degrees. And then we're going to bake it for about 15 minutes. You can also use like 4 ramekins. So the recipe I just shared with you makes 4 servings, so 4 ramekins could work. You can also double the recipe, and the pie plate is large enough to accommodate a double recipe. If you do a single recipe, 1/4 of the pie is a serving, and that will give you, 1 serving will give you a green, 2 condiments, and a snack. What we're going to do for the snack is top it with walnuts. If you double it, then I would cut the pie into 8, and again, that would give you 1 vegetable or 1 green, 2 condiments, and a healthy snack. So I had roasted 2 kabocha squashes. It yielded 4 cups of squash. So I made a second recipe, and I have 2 recipes in 1 pie plate. It is a crustless recipe. So the oven is at 425. You're going to bake for 15 minutes. Then you're going to reduce the heat to 350 and bake for an additional 25 minutes. And if you are adding the walnuts, this is when you put the walnuts on top, and they are baked for 25 minutes as well. So fresh out of the oven is our baked Kabocha Squash Crustless pumpkin pie. It's delicious. Enjoy. For more holiday recipes, be sure to subscribe and like.